That's really, really terrible, dude.
Welcome to Watch Mojo's Cartoon Countdown, and today we'll be taking a look at the 10 most offensive jokes on South Park. Gingers. If there's a group of people that Cartman despises just as much as hippies and anyone who celebrates Judaism, it's anybody that has freckles and red hair.
Ginger kids are born with a disease which causes very light skin, red hair, and freckles.
In addition to Cartman's constant bashing of them, the portrayal on the show was not so positive, frequently shown as being frail and somewhat creepy. The most offensive moment on the show may have been Cartman being distraught not because he realized he murdered his own father, but that he in fact had red hair.
I mean, obviously I take after my mom, but I have the ginger gene inside of me.
Special Olympics. Cartman pretending to have a disability in order to compete at the Special Olympics will go down as one of the most despicable things he's ever done. He goes so far as to adopt what he believes are their mannerisms and even wears a disguise. The worst part may have been having his mom vouch for him when they register for the event, which doesn't go too well.
I'm not sure. Sweetie, what is your condition?
Fortunately, his plan completely backfires, and he struggles in all of the events and comes in last place. Steve Irwin. At his Halloween party, Satan confronts someone who he believes to be wearing a Steve Irwin costume. But the man reveals himself to actually be Steve Irwin.
Oh, but then dude, no costume. Sorry, you gotta go.
Realizing that he's not actually wearing a Halloween costume, Satan promptly gets him kicked out. Irwin's wife, Terry, was reportedly very upset by the portrayal. The most ironic thing about this joke was that Satan and everyone at the party thought the idea of someone dressing up as Steve Irwin was offensive, which it very much was, but that point gets lost in true South Park fashion. Japan.
The time has come. We will take Pearl Harbor.
The Japanese were definitely not happy with this one. In the Season 2 episode Chin Pokemon, the Japanese are portrayed as hungry warmongers set on taking over the United States. Through Chin Pokemon, an obvious parody of Pokemon, they hope to brainwash children in America to join their cause. The mannerisms and over-the-top accents of the Japanese on the show can most certainly draw the ire of certain viewers. And this wouldn't be the last time the show took shots at the Japanese.
No, this is racial stereotype.
China. The creators of South Park have never shied away from taking digs at China, and this is on full display in Season 12's The China Problem. Fearing that the country of China will invade the United States, Cartman decides to take matters into his own hands. How might you ask? By pretending to be Chinese and infiltrating a local P.F. Chang's. The way Cartman dresses and pretends to be Chinese is just super offensive, and it's hard to see how this would fly today. People who annoy you. With apologies to Jesse Jackson was a critically acclaimed episode, being praised for its moral compass and exploration of the significance behind the use of the N-word in society. However, the inciting incident and joke that gets the episode's plot rolling is just about as brutal as it gets.
Well, I know it, but I don't think I should say it.
While this is not the joke's ultimate punchline, Randy's use of the word and the joke itself is still very much offensive. It strikes a nerve with everyone in town, and he ultimately becomes alienated. Randy's mishap is just straight up awful and as big of a fail as it gets.
I can't believe you said the N-word on national television.
Rich people. Season 5's Here Comes the Neighborhood sees affluent, rich African Americans move to the city of South Park. One of the episode's two central plots centers on several residents who are not happy about this, and so they take several measures to steer them away from the town.
Time to leave?
While they state that they don't like them because they are rich, it's hard to see it that way, and we can't help but see a very dark double entendre. Add in the fact that the town dresses up as ghosts to scare them away, and then it all begins to feel so wrong. Cartman Shoots Tolkien.
Inside the red line is that's my ground. He was on it.
The World War Zimmerman episode from season 17 somehow finds a way to combine and parody both World War Z and the Trayvon Martin incident together in one wild and zany episode. Near the end, Cartman confronts Tolkien, and while it initially seems like he wants to make amends, he instead proceeds to shoot him. While the joke and the episode itself serve to highlight the unfairness and hypocrisy of the justice system, considering the controversy surrounding the death of Trayvon Martin and police violence toward African Americans, the joke can be deemed as somewhat insensitive. The worst costume and fan club ever. Cartman dressed up as the German dictator Hitler not once, but twice. The first time, Principal Victoria tries to fix this by giving him a ghost costume. And we all know what that usually ends up looking like instead in South Park.
And let me just make a few quickie alterations, and there you go, young man.
The second time, although not donning the mustache, he wears the costume again when leading the Mel Gibson fan club. The coolest members who join the group are oblivious to Cartman's true intentions and simply follow along.
Oh, this is fun!
The joke was clearly intended to show the naivety of these individuals, but it was offensive nonetheless. Canada. Where to begin? South Park has taken shots at Canadians time and time again in several episodes. The South Park movie's central plot even focuses on a conflict between the United States and the neighboring country. On the show, Canadians are portrayed as goofy characters with a supposed heavy stereotypical Canadian accent.
How did a U.S. citizen get past my wall?
Throughout the series, everything from their politics and weddings is shown as either abnormal and strange. The show's portrayal of the country and its inhabitants is one of the longest-running gags on the show.